you want to learn how to make thumbnails? Well, I've been doing this a lot, been learning on my own, and I think I could help you out a little bit. This will be for Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. So if you don't have it, try to mimic what I do the best you can. But this does have like the best tools for doing this, I think. Anyway, at least in my opinion. Let's get started. So, create a new file, and what I usually do is the HD TV thingy, 180p. Yes, it's a thingy, where instead of recents, you can find this in film and video, and it's like right there. You click that, you create, boom, you got your thing. I have markers set up. I don't think this is by default. I'm turning this off. You can just do that by going to view and extras. So we have a blank canvas. Now I've gathered a couple pictures that I would like for background, what my center focus of the piece will be, and also some effects. You can do whatever you want with this. This, I can't really give you a tutorial on that because it's really just what your video is about. Me, I'm gonna do how to make thumbnails. So I'm gonna use a random image of the newest character to Multiverse's Gizmo. So first, I'm going to give us the Gizmo. Where is he? There he is. Okay. Now I'm gonna size him up just about here, so I got a good look at him. I'm gonna go to the selection tool, which is it's like the fourth on the left screen. Object selection. You could do the other selection, but I'm going to do this because it's easier, although it does take a little bit of time. Just cover the whole thing and see how exactly it cuts it up for you, and then I'll show you how to go back and kind of work out the kinks for the selection before we move on. So if it didn't literally do it perfectly, although actually it hasn't, see, look down there, you right click on the object selection, you go to quick selection tool, then you press alt to do minus, so you're taking away from the selection, and kind of just like do this area, just like make sure it's going on, Gizmo instead of anything else. And you just simply Control C, Control V, and then delete the original. Boom. Now it's a little matted, so what I'm gonna do here is go to layer, go all the way down the matting, and then defringe. And then I will defringe by 40. That did absolutely nothing. Whatever. It looks good enough. All right, look, you don't even notice. Actually, it adds some texture to it. So we got Gizmo. Make him a little bit bigger. I am now starting to see that this picture is a little too wonky for what we are doing. Get rid of Gizmo. So instead of all that, we're going to use another super popular character right now. Sorry, spoilers for Dragon Ball Super, the manga, if you haven't read it. Black Frieza. Boom. And it's a transparent image, so we don't even have to cut it. But I will keep the Gizmo thing in there because it's good to know if you really are that new to Photoshop, although that is very basic technique. So we're gonna put him right here. In fact, we're actually going to enlarge him because I know what I'm going to do with him already, but we'll save that for later. Look, make him all big. Look at that, right there. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, that's perfect. Now then, before I add a background, now what I like to do for backgrounds is add something relatable, although this is not relatable to Frieza whatsoever. It's a beach. We're just applying the concept, not the reality. So make sure the photo of the beach is under in the layers. Now we have a beach. We have Black Frieza on the beach. What are we gonna do with the beach? Well, first off, we're gonna add two things down here. The gradient map and the curve. You don't have to do this in order, although I prefer the curve over the gradient map. And also, before we do that, I mistakenly did not put the blur in. So we go to blur, filter, blur, radial blur. This just adds a little bit of texture, lets the background stick out a little bit more. And by stick out, I mean, it gives the stuff in front, the stuff you want people to see, a little bit more, pop. All right, so radial blur, you make sure it's like the middle is where your character would be on the background. So probably like a little bit on the left. So that way it looks like the blur's coming from the character. Look at that, it's beautiful. And it's not even the proper color yet. I also like to, actually, we don't need to increase the contrast yet. We'll do that later. This is a way to do it for the whole thing. Now we do gradient map, click here. See, this is always tough for me because I can never think of colors. So generally you want your background to be a little bit darker than everything else just because it pops more when the other characters are like brighter and it contrasts with the background, obviously. I'm spinning in circles right now. Go to the color, double click, look at that, boom. Red, green, blue, purple. Now, since Frieza has a little bit of purple on him still, and I'm planning on giving him purple effects and like drop shadow later, I am going to make the background yellowish. Now with the curves, I don't know why it's so tall, but Just gonna go in the middle, maybe drop it a little bit, go in the bottom, drop it a little bit more so it makes it a little bit nicer. You can experiment with this, you know, you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing on the curve. All right, that's perfect. You don't even know it's a beach anymore. It's just random nonsense on the screen. Perfect. That's what we want. Now then, for Frieza, double click Frieza. That is for his name. Right click and just do blending options. It's easier. First we want to do stroke, add a little nice stroke, little nice white line just to give him a little bit of pop. You don't have to do this for everything. Again, this is personal preference. If I were you, I would go through every single blending option and just check out everything and just like experiment. Anyway, generally I like to leave the stroke a little bit nice like that. Inner glow. I like to use the inner glow a little bit because it makes your character pop more. Everything you do is to make the idea of the video pop to grab eyeballs. So then they read the title and then the title brings them to the video and then they watch the whole video. They work off of each other. It's perfect. So for Frieza, I'm going to increase the inner shadow just a little bit, just because I want him to shine a lot here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, about 100 or 90. Yeah, that looks solid. Technique precise. Technique softer. Softer looks good. So that's good. And we do outer glow. I like this just because it's another way to make it pop. I'm gonna keep saying that because that's really all it is. You can just kind of copy the numbers here. Again, it's experimented. It's gonna be different every single time. Although if you get a preference, you can just copy and paste from one Photoshop to another. That's what I do, but obviously I'm going through each step because this is a tutorial and I'm sure this is amazing and you're not getting annoyed at all from me stuttering constantly. Then I'll add a drop shadow. Oh, notice how there's 2 drop shadows because I usually like to have 2 drop shadows. Look at that. Oh my god, he's insane. Now for the second one that I have further around it, this drop shadow is bigger and I also turned it on the hard light. Normally it's on normal, although it's the same. Actually, normally it's on multiply, but I have it on hard light just because I like the way it looks better. We're gonna do purple. All right, we're gonna do darker purple. Now I'm looking at this and it doesn't look as good as I thought. Oh, actually, this looks poggers. Look at that. Opacity. Oh my God. Maybe turn down the spread a little bit. Turn down the size a little bit. That looks pretty good. If you know, I have to say so myself. That looks pretty good. So that's good enough for the drop shadow. Here's my drop shadow for the white line. And here's the drop shadow for the purple. Here's the outer glow. Here's the inner glow. Here's the stroke. Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, we're going to start adding text. Now, since this is a thumbnail tutorial, that's what I'm gonna write. This is the font I use. You can use whatever font you want. Thumbnail, and then copy. Oh, actually, you know what? No. First, we're gonna edit this. Now, again, you wanna go to blending options for the thumbnail, and then start doing the same stuff you did with the last thing. Gradient overlay. I prefer anyway, the grays, and then this. Then, want stroke. I prefer the black stroke. I prefer to make it a little bit bigger, like 10. Inner glow. I love inner glow because it makes it white, but like there's some texture in it because of the gray. Outer glow, just because. Why not? Actually, no, don't do outer glow. At least not for the style that I'm going for. Watch this. Watch this. I'll show you. I'm gonna exit out of this for a little bit. I'm gonna get real close to this so I can know what I'm doing. Okay, so outer glow. Not outer glow. Drop shadow. I'm doing great, aren't I? Okay, so what I like to do with the drop shadow, I like to make it look like a bubble character, right? So instead of hard light, I'm just gonna make it normal. Actually, yeah, normal. Okay. Keep the spread to like there. Size, distance, then make it the color that I want to do, which is red. Okay, so as you see, this is how you make it look like that. You can use the angle to kind of angle which way the drop shadow's going. I don't know how to tell you that. So do 90 since there's not. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me go back in there. I don't know why it exited out that way. Because it looks like it's coming out of it. Oh my God, it's perfect. Then we'll add another drop shadow and make it black. Oh, actually, you know what? Make it red. Watch. The spread all the way up. Distance about there. That way it looks like it's really popping out, like it's actually 3D. Now you can change the color to other things. It's not changing a damn thing. There we go. Now it looks like a sandwich. Holy cow. Look at that. Look at that juicy, juicy text right there. Now we're going to do Control T. So we can resize it, and then Control V. So now we have another one, and then we do tutorial. Now, I hope I spelt that correctly. I'm going to check because I'm like 90% sure, but I don't want to look like an idiot. All right, yeah, I did. Genius, by the way. I'm a genius. All right. I'm going to change the drop shadow, the second drop shadow. Actually, the first drop shadow. Whoops. Sorry. I'm insane. Something else that pops. But what pops on yellow is purple. You know what? Actually, I can make this a completely different gradient overlay. I can make it purple and then make bottom black. Yeah. Look at that. All right. Does that even look good to you? It doesn't look good to me. What if I... Wait, let's change it around, actually. All right, let's do this. See, when you're making a thumbnail, you're gonna go through like different phases of it, all right? You're not gonna think it's perfect ever. Like, you're gonna get just lazy with it, and then you're gonna pick one and it's gonna be fine anyway. Thumbnail tutorial, look at that. It's got the sandwich, it's got everything. All right, maybe with this, without the sandwich? No, I like the sandwich too much to let it go. Well, what if I made it white? No, that's ugly. And now, for the repertoire, I'm going to open something because I have a red arrow already. This is a previous thumbnail I'm used to made. If you want to, you're not going to learn how to make this. This is not a good thumbnail. Shut up. There you go. Wait, go back. Okay. Red arrow pointing. You always want a red arrow pointing because that is just how the world works. That one you might need to you don't need to actually put in. We're pretty good. We're doing pretty good. The thumbnail's looking fine, but it's not perfect. It could use some other colors somewhere, but to be honest, I am still learning myself. I hope these techniques helped you, but we're not done. So what you want to do when you think you're done, right? You want to edit the colors a little bit more. So what I do is Control Alt Shift and E. That way it makes a layer with everything on it. It's literally just another picture. See, look at that. Control Z's back, by the way. So what you want to do with this is, after you've made this layer, while selecting the layer, Control Shift A. Sorry. Control Shift A. That's what you want to do. I got it wrong like 6 times. I don't think I'm going to leave it in on the recording. Oh my God. So here you have this giant thing with a bunch of stuff that you can edit with. So not all of these are important. I like to kind of fiddle with the temperature a little bit to see which one works better. Putting a little bit of cold on it kind of works. I like the exposure up a little bit because most people use dark mode on YouTube. So when the exposure is a little bit more up, it's whiter. Therefore, it peaks out more. The contrast, I love just shoving the contrast all the way up. It's just so much fun. Highlights, you could fiddle with that a little bit. Shadows, I like to bring down. For the contrast, again, white's a little bit down, black's a little bit down, but you can fiddle with them. Honestly, I don't even think it does anything for me. Texture, when you're doing PNGs like this, honestly, you could just kind of bump texture all the way up. Because since it's like a cartoon character, it's Frieza. There's not much texture on him. Kind of just makes him pop more. Although you do have to worry about your background. You see the beach is a little kind of iffy. In fact, honestly, I might go back and just make this a yellow background. To be completely honest with you. You know what? Scratch this. We'll go right back to it. Hold on. I had another picture I forgot. There's one more thing I want to add here. A light. See this? Watch this. I just added a little bit of PNG light with no background. I'm going to put it over the background, but first I'm going to make sure it's like behind Frieza and visible. You want to make this really freaking big, man. I know it's blurry now, but trust me. I might want to even put it behind the text. Okay, you see how the electricity is there? Now we move the layer all the way back down. Yes. Though, in between the curves. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now we're going to do screen. Control T. Move it a little bit there. So it's centered. And that has like weird electricity coming out of Frieza. I'm going to boost the contrast on it. I might turn it, I'm gonna turn it back to normal. Or hard light at least. Yeah, hard light. And then exposure. Oh, wow, look at that. Let me know what you think in the comments, because it could go either way with this. The white, actually, you know what? The black definitely contrasts more. Yeah, I like that. I like the black. These are just techniques though. So you could do what you want. There are literally a million different combinations, and I'm just gonna use radial blur, but keep it in the middle. Is gonna look really just weird and interesting. All right, so back, Control Alt Shift E, and then Control Shift A. Seeing this? It didn't work. Control Shift A. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm gonna lower the temperature a little bit, increase the exposure, because now we have more black in the background, so the exposure lifts other things off more. Contrast all the way up, because I love that contrast, baby. You know I love it. Highlights a little bit up. Shadows, oh my God, wait, shadows makes this look weird as hell. What the hell? I don't know, man. Let's see what the other ones do. White's up. That's a little bit down. Black's a little bit down. See what textures? Okay, texture's fine. Clarity though. Clarity's always a good one. Clarity I like to boost up a little bit. Dehaze I like to boost up a little bit, but again, it's, you know, whatever you want. Vibrance all the way up. Screw it. Actually, it's like weird polka dots on Frieza. I'm not gonna let that stay on there. Okay. Saturation. Now it's green. Now it's green for some reason. I'll boost saturation up a little bit. Why is it green? I did that somewhere else. All right, so curve, and maybe fiddle around with the curve a little bit. Now this is controlling like the whole different thing. It's whatever. Detail, this one's a good one. Sharpening, you really don't want to sharpen that much. Noise reduction, this really doesn't do much, although it does clear up the background a little bit if you're using PNGs. If you're using faces, it'll make you look like a damn doll. Don't do it. Color correction, I've never seen this do anything. Everything else is like meh. You could add a vignette for some reason. You really want to do that? Some grain. Look, you can make it look stupid. I'll add a little bit of grain. Yeah. All right. I think this thumbnail looks pretty good to me. It's not the best because I made it in like 20 minutes and I'm a little nervous making my first tutorial. But if you like the video, let me know, and let me know if you want to see me do more tutorials on random stuff. I'm just trying out everything. You know, my channel's still kind of new. I have a multiverses audience, but I also have an audience of people who like talking to me and stuff and just hearing me talk about things. I want to be a voice actor. I want to be a model and an actor, but I can't do that yet for some reason. Oh, we're gonna do that when you're older. When? We had an agent, Mom. Where's my headshots? I don't even have headshots. Why you gotta lie to the poor kid constantly, man? I could have been working on other things. I was just waiting. I was waiting. This is gonna be a complete shtick to edit. If you want to see me do how I cut videos automatically, I can show you that too. But anyway, bye-bye.